Welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with the rookie rebuilds, and today we have Ausar Thompson to the Detroit Pistons. So ignore my butchering of his name. I'm dog shit with names, you all know that, but it was really cool seeing him and his twin brother drafted back-to-back in the top 5 of the NBA draft. I believe it was like the highest in a very, very long time that twins have gone back-to-back. Obviously, we know the Morris twins, I believe, were the most recent two to do it. But, yeah, man, I like both these picks. Amin's obviously in Houston right now. Likely will be their starting point guard. And Ausar here is probably going to be our starting small forward for the majority of this video. We're back with the 5-year prospect rebuild as well. Give some of these young guys a little bit more time to develop. And obviously, with the Pistons today, one of the best young cores in the league, we have a couple hopes of getting some championships. So I've actually already done the 4 prior picks to this. I actually guessed the draft order correctly in terms of the top 4. So if you want me to redo them, I can obviously do that. Just let me know down below in the comments section along with any other video ideas. But yeah, man, this Pistons core is obviously incredible. We're going to get into it, go over it in all of its glory in just a second. But I do honestly think this is probably a top 2, maybe 3 minimum young core in the all of basketball. So very, very excited for the future here in Detroit. Obviously, it has not been a very fun past. I don't know. It's been a long time since the Pistons have been a really competent basketball team. So hopefully we can figure that out today and get this team a championship. Let's get into it. All right, so we're obviously here in off-season number 1 right now. We're going to be doing 5 off-seasons and 5 regular seasons. And I think a cautious goal for this team would be 2 championships, especially here in 2K. We have the young talent to do so, and we're also going to have a little bit of money in free agency. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. My confidence is pretty high, but let's dive into this roster a little bit, kind of break it down. So Cade Cunningham, obviously former number 1 overall pick, was injured last year, only played 13 games, hoping he can bounce back. He's an 84 overall, 21 years old. He developed super well. There's probably less than a 1% chance he goes anywhere. Killian Hayes actually was waived by the Pistons, which kind of says a lot. I mean, he is just not a very good basketball player. I know he's been on a couple teams now. I believe so anyway. Oh, hasn't? I thought he was on a couple. I don't fucking know. I don't know why. Did he play with like another team at some point in time? I thought he did. But yeah, he's obviously not going to be here. I'll just go ahead and release him right now. Obviously, he's not on the team, so we're just going to get rid of him. Marcus Sasser, 25 overall in this past year's draft. From Houston, probably going to be replacing Killian Hayes as that backup point guard. If he can develop well, he'll obviously have a spot in the rotation, maybe even the entirety of the video. Shooting guard spot. I'm super high on Jaden Ivey. I was in the draft last year when he did get drafted number 5 overall, and he also developed super well. In all likelihood, not going to be going anywhere. He'll be running the 2, and then Ausar Thompson here will likely be my 3 at 6'7". I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. That D+3 does make me a little bit nervous. It's something we're probably going to have to work on a little bit with him, but I think the talent and the potential is definitely there. The frame is there as well. He's going to be probably my 3 for the majority of the video. So we're good there. I don't know what I'm going to do with Bogdanovic. He could end up getting traded. I mean, 34 years old obviously doesn't fit the timeline necessarily. I know it's obviously really important in real life to have some veterans on a team that is relatively young, but here in 2K, it's not going to matter as much. So right trade comes along, we'll obviously make it. Marvin Bagley came over. Isaiah Stewart is here as well. I mean, these are 2 guys that could be running for my starting power forward the entire time. I don't know. Again, it all depends on development. I'll probably start Bagley. I mean, he's 24 years old. Obviously, we all know with Marvin Bagley, he went 2nd overall in the 2018 NBA draft. Ahead of Luka Doncic, ahead of Trae Young. It was a shit show for the Sacramento Kings. And then the center position, Jalen Duren progresses extremely well in this game as well. I mean, I know I've said this about like 3 or 4 guys at this point, but he does. And I really don't have any other plans to move on from him as my starting center at 19 years old. James Wiseman here as well came over in a trade from the Warriors. Obviously did not really work out too well for him over there. Will in all likelihood keep him as our backup center unless he gets too expensive at some point in time. So obviously we're up to free agency basically at this point because the offseason is basically already underway. I mean, team player options have kind of already happened and kind of expired. I mean, we're kind of in that process right now, but we will see. It is time for free agency right now. So in terms of our free agents, Alec Burks, free agent, 31 years old. Rodney McGruder. Are 1 or 2 of these guys someone I could bring back? I think there's an argument for Burks. I mean, we're going to go ahead and move Thompson to the starting small forward spot. So changing his overall, which means we don't actually have a backup shooting guard right now. So we go ahead and move him to the small forward spot. I mean, obviously Bogey's there right now to hypothetically be his backup. But I don't mind maybe bringing in Alec Burks to back up Jaden Ivey. I mean, again, it's not going to be for the entirety 5 years, but it's not a terrible contract. I mean, unless there's anybody else out here with a really strong case that I'd prefer over him. I mean, I don't think we're going to find a starter today. I mean, maybe Miles. Would I prefer Miles Bridges? I don't sign Miles Bridges a lot. I really don't. I mean, I could also maybe go after Kyle Kuzma, start him at the 4. I mean, we definitely have options, but I really do think there's a benefit to kind of saving some of this money. This is obviously not a great free agency class, and any of the guys that we'd sign right now would probably just be fillers anyways. So I'd rather suck for a year or two, have these guys develop still on their rookie contracts, save all that money for when some of the really good free agents come along. So that's kind of my plan. I do think maybe I can even sign a better backup shooting guard. I mean, hypothetically, Reeves is here, could be a good option. Kelly Oubre is here, so maybe we could get a slight upgrade over Alec Burks. I mean, how much does Oubre want? He wants about $14 million a year. How much does Reeves want? Because, yeah, if he only wants 13, I think I'd rather actually pay Austin Reeves. Look at him about $14 million a year. I don't know if the Lakers will match it. I mean, we will see. I'm going to pretty much renounce everybody else here. I mean, even if they do, I'm going to have the money to sign Alec Burks anyways. It's not going to be that big of a deal. So let's go ahead and see. Lakers going to match this contract? They're not, which means Austin Reeves is officially going to be a Detroit Piston. Very, very interesting. He'll be the backup here behind Jaden Ivey, in all likelihood, probably our 6th man. So we're pretty much good everywhere. We're starters and backups. I do think there's an argument to trade Bogdanovic because I know for a fact that he is going to regress. So might as well just get it out of the way now. See what sort of offers are on the table. Again, it doesn't have to be anybody great. Just preferably either a draft pick, young player, some sort of combination of that. Kevin Huerter honestly wouldn't be terrible. I'd probably be playing him at the backup 3. He's 6'7". I honestly don't hate that. You know what? Let's do this. We're also getting a 2nd-round pick. Feels like a pretty big win right there in that deal to me. So we're going to move Huerter to the backup small forward spot. I know he's a higher overall, but obviously the potential on Thompson is quite a bit higher. So we're going to go ahead and start him, and then we're actually going to have a really decent bench for year number 1. So I'm excited to see what happens. Jared Rhoden does not really need to be on this team. If I can get a pick for him, I will. Also, not a realistic rebuild. I think we all know that. But if I can get a draft pick, I'll obviously take it because he's not going to be in the rotation. So 2 seconds, fine by me. All right, I'll see you guys at the start of year number 1. So before we get into the rotation, I just want to say that I went ahead and made sure that we actually do have our 1st-round pick this year because we don't right now. Technically, the New York Knicks own it. And I looked it up because it said it was unprotected, and I was very confused to why New York would have an unprotected first. And I actually fact-checked this, and it says 2024 first round, 1 through 18 owned, 19 to 30 goes to New York. So it says unprotected here, so no matter what, the New York Knicks will have it. But for some reason, if we do suck and it's number 1 through 18, I'm going to go ahead and trade the pick back to us, and then I'll just give them our pick next year. I mean, that's in all likelihood how it would actually work anyways. So I just want to put that out there right now before the year starts, because if we're good, obviously it won't matter. If we suck, then I don't want you to think I'm being kind of cheap. But it's there. It's out there. All right, Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Azar Thompson's going to be starting at the 3, Marvin Bagley the 3rd at the 4, Jalen Duren going to be starting at our 5. The bench is actually tremendous. Kevin Huerter is going to be our 6th man, followed by Austin Reeves, James Wiseman, Isaiah Stewart, and Marcus Sasser here as well. So it is a pretty decent bench. Honestly, we did go ahead and maybe spend a little bit more money between acquiring that Huerter contract, signing Reeves, than I initially anticipated. But honestly, they're easy contracts to move. Obviously, the majority of the starting 5 is still in the rookie deals as well. So very, very good spot to be in right now. I honestly do think there's a chance we're even a playoff team. So see you guys at the end of year 1. Year 1 comes to an end. We go 54-28. So obviously, in all likelihood, our pick will not matter unless just every single team was super good this year. But yeah, man, 54 wins for obviously an extremely young core is really, really solid, especially in a 5-year rebuild. So I'm pretty happy right now. Luka Doncic is your MVP, averaged a triple-double, obviously very much deserving, assuming obviously the Dallas Mavericks were a somewhat competent team. Victor Wembanyama wins Rookie of the Year. I mean, it's a very strong possibility that happens in real life. Scoot Henderson, 6th man of the year. You see this one a couple times now because obviously here in the game, especially the Trailblazers don't trade Damian Lillard, which means Scoot Henderson in all likelihood will be coming off the bench. I don't know how they're going to do it in real life if Dame stays and they don't trade Henderson. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, there's a lot of guards on that Portland team right now that all deserve playing time, so it'll be interesting. I don't know how often it is that a number 3 overall pick comes off the bench, but then again, there's not a lot of number 3 overall picks in terms of the teams that have a guy like Damian Lillard, so I get it. Giannis is your DPOY, Darius Garland most improved, Quinn Snyder Coach of the Year. So let's take a full look at the standings right now. We end up as the number 3 seed here in the Eastern Conference, so that's obviously great. We're going to be taking on the Philadelphia 76ers in round number 1, so it's going to be an interesting matchup. Obviously a team with a little bit of experience. Let's take a look and see how the numbers were on the year. I mean, everything looks pretty good, to be completely honest with you. What did Thompson shoot from 3? So yeah, that 3-point percentage is obviously pretty tough, but he only, how many did he take a game? So he took about 4 a game, making just over 1. I mean, that's obviously not great. A guy shooting 29% from 3. Definitely something we're going to want to work on. I wish there was still those kind of like traits and those, I forget what they're called, like untapped potential camps almost. I forget what they were called, but something you could send guys to and it would up their attributes. So that was great in previous 2Ks, but we don't have that anymore. All right, so we obviously have the Sixers here, as I mentioned in round 1. Let's take a look at their team. Harden's still here, so he re-signed. Tyrese Maxey obviously still going strong, developing well. Tobias Harris did not get moved. Jay Crowder's a new addition, starting him at the 4 instead of PJ Tucker. Obviously, Joel Embiid, one of the best players in the world. So let's see what ends up happening. It's a team with a lot more experience than us, but we're fighting. We're a good young core, and we do have home court advantage here. We are currently up 3-2 against the Sixers, going to Game 7, and we do end up losing in round 1. So after a 54-win year that, in all honesty, probably shouldn't have even happened. I think 54 wins is a bit of an overachievement. We do get bounced in round 1, so that's never great, but it is some good experience for our young guys. So anybody surprised the Atlanta Hawks won? I, for one, am not. I think we all know that. They go to 7 and they end up beating the Lakers. All right, it is time for offseason number 2. Before year number 2, let's take a look at the draft lottery. We do not have any picks in this draft lottery, I will say somewhat unfortunately, but we already have a very young and established, pretty solid core here in Detroit. So OKC, Houston ends up number 2. That's via the Brooklyn Nets. Dates back to the James Harden trade, I'm assuming. San Antonio with number 3 via the Charlotte Hornets, the Bulls, and then the Pelicans. That's via Milwaukee. It's weird how much this game hates the Bucks because by no means do I think the Bucks have like the brightest future in the world with that core that they have right now, because obviously Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton are definitely some aging stars. But 5th overall pick next year is straight out ridiculous. I'll say that. I will. All right, let's hit staff signing right now. Obviously, they signed Monty Williams to be their head coach. I think we overachieved on the season. There's no reason to move on from him. I do think he's a pretty decent head coach anyways. And up to the draft. So we're not going to have our first round selection. I'm not going to trade it back to us, is what it is. We do have the first overall pick in round 2. We also have the 6th overall selection in round 2. So couple decent second round picks right there. If I were to make a move, I mean, the only thing I'd maybe want to upgrade would be the backup point guard spot, but I feel like I want to give Marcus Sasser a shot. I mean, he definitely, the potential's somewhat there. He is 23 years old already, so that does make me a little bit nervous going into his 2nd season in the league, but I don't feel like replacing him, especially because he only played 10 minutes a night's really worth it for me. So we're going to move these 2 second round picks. Nobody even wants them. Seriously, for the love of God, 2K. Oh, just figure it out. It's just this game. Sometimes, man, I don't get it. Thank you very much, Philadelphia. So we're not going to be drafting anybody this year. That's fine by me. Team player options. Why would I not bring back Jalen Duren? Explain that one to me, 2K. God, I love this game. All right, qualifying offers. I don't know how Peyton Pritchard ended up here. He's still under contract with the Celtics, so makes no sense. At this point in time, technically he wouldn't be, but he just played with us last year. I will qualify Wiseman. I will qualify Isaiah Stewart. They're guys I do want to bring back. Obviously, neither of them were starting, but I still think they're very important pieces to this team, especially if we want to maybe go ahead at some point in time, include one of them in a trade. Whatever it may be, I do think it's worth paying them the money for now. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to renounce Pritchard. We're going to renounce Frank Jackson. We're not going to match any of these 3. And then we're going to give Stewart and we're going to give Wiseman real contracts. Because I do think, honestly, I think it could be time that, Jesus, $20 million for James Wiseman. And I have my sliders fixed too, so that's a little crazy. I will say I do think it's time because I'm not trying to hate on him by any means, but I think in terms of potential, we kind of know what Marvin Bagley is going to be. I think there's a guy out there, I don't know who it is, but we can probably get upgraded while maybe still relatively maintaining the youngness to our core. So I think there's a trade out there. What it is exactly, I have no idea, but we're going to go find it. This might not look like the best trade on paper, but I really do think it's going to be one that benefits us in the long run. We're going to send Marvin Bagley III and Isaiah Stewart over to Sacramento. We're going to acquire Keegan Murray and Hamidou Diallo. Now, Keegan Murray is an 81 overall. He's the same exact overall as Marvin Bagley. But in terms of the potential, in terms of the numbers, I like Keegan Murray just a bit more. Along with that, we had some three-point shooting in our starting 5, and especially with a guy like Thompson, who maybe doesn't shoot the 3 ball very well, I think this could be really beneficial to us. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to make this trade. We're also acquiring Hamidou Diallo, who we really maybe don't necessarily need. Obviously, we do have Herter here. I think Diallo definitely could get traded at this point in time, maybe for a new backup 4. So we're going to do that. We also went ahead. We paid James Wiseman a lot of money, so I think that's definitely something we're going to have to worry about maybe next offseason. As of now, I think if we can go ahead, maybe find a new backup power forward here, that's probably going to be the last move at this moment in terms of the offseason. So Kelly Olynyk's not bad. I'm thinking if I can maybe find somebody in free agency. I see Chris Boucher is here as well, but he is 31. I'm thinking maybe I just take the draft pick. I mean, who is here in free agency in terms of... Oh, beautiful. Jared Vanderbilt, 100%. Welcome to the team. Just a tremendous fit on this team. Just getting this bench even better. I love it. All right, so Diallo, we're just going to get some picks for. I guess he's back in Detroit. But, yeah, anybody want to give me a draft pick of any sort? Thank you very much, Memphis. They're actually going to give me 2 unprotected first-round picks for Hamidou Diallo. So, all right, man, we're all set. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 2. Last year we won 54 games, and I think that was an overachievement. I know I've said that a few times now, but I really do believe it. We ended up getting bounced in the first round by the 76ers, and we went ahead and we made a couple moves. We added Keegan Murray to this team. I've explained to you the reason why. We also added Jared Vanderbilt. So 2 new power forwards on this team that I think complement the group a little bit better than the 2 we had previous. But again, development's really kind of the name of the game right now. That goes well. I think the season goes well. Here's how it's going to look. It's Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, Keegan Murray, and Jalen Duren. The bench unit's going to be Kevin Huerter, Austin Reeves, James Wiseman, Jared Vanderbilt, Marcus Sasser. I mean, it's just an absolutely tremendous bench. I think, honestly, the way this rebuild's kind of going, it doesn't really feel like one of those that I'm going to go ahead, really sign a huge free agent. I mean, we're kind of spreading out the money we have, and obviously that's a big part of the fact that we have a lot of guys on rookie contracts. But, I mean, right now this team is looking very, very good. We're still very, very young, but I think we have a little bit more experience now. We have a little bit of a more complete roster. So I'm feeling good, man. I have no idea what the limit is for this team, but I'm excited to find out. See you guys at the end of year number 2. So it was a very, very good season for us. We go 69-13 here in the end of year 2, and that's obviously just an incredible record, especially for how young this team is. I'm loving it. Luka Doncic, that's a second straight MVP. Tyrese Proctor's your Rookie of the Year in Miami. He went number 16 overall. Amin Thompson is your 6th man of the year. I am surprised he is not starting. That really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Victor Wembanyama wins a DPOY in his 2nd year in the league. Also, Amin Thompson, most improved. Interesting. 6th man and most interesting. Monty Williams obviously going to take home Coach of the Year with the best record in the league in all likelihood. So, full look at the standings right now. We do have the best record in the league. Just wanted to confirm. Never know sometimes over there in the West how good some teams can be. So here's a look at the numbers. Cunningham, Ivy, Murray, Duren, Thompson, Huerter. I mean, it's beautiful. It really is. Rebounds was led by Jalen Duren, and assists was Cade Cunningham. So who we got? Round 1 of the playoffs. We have the 8-seeded Charlotte Hornets. Another decent young core. I have seen this before. I do not know why they trade for Rudy Gobert and play him as a power forward. I also do not know why you traded for Andrew Wiggins if you're not going to start him. That does not make a lot of sense to me. All right, let's see if we can get by the 8-seeded Charlotte Hornets here in round 1. I have a sneaky feeling we probably will, and we do end up winning in 5. Indiana is a 4-seed. They've added Lonzo Ball, and they're playing him at the 2. To be honest, I don't know how a backcourt of Tyrese Halliburton and Lonzo Ball would work. I think there'd be a lot of passing going on. I think that kind of goes without being said. Buddy Hield still going strong. Obviously, they drafted Jarris Walker, Miles Turner. They have Nick Claxton here now. Okay, Herb Jones. How are you getting all these good players, and why are they coming off the bench? Good God. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right, we're up 3-1. We close them out in 5. And here come the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are a big pain in the ass. Second to only the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, I stand by that. I think Cleveland's clearly a better team, but Atlanta, in this game especially, more of a pain in the ass. So we're 1-1 with them right now. We go down 2-1. We go, oh my God. Not the way I wanted this to go. We end up losing in the Eastern Conference Finals, and Jaylen Brown's in Minnesota. What in the world is going on right now? Did you... What? Did you trade Ant for Jalen? What the fuck is going on? And I believe if I just saw that correctly, the Timberwolves came back from being down 3-1, and Jaylen Brown's your finals MVP. That one hurts. That's a punch in the face as a Celtics fan. All right, off-season number 3. Obviously, that was a tremendous regular season, and it was a decent playoff run, but I really do think our time now is logging. I mean, you win basically 70 games. I don't care how young you are. You should be winning. So, New York, Chicago, Oklahoma City, Brooklyn, and New Orleans are your top 5 in terms of draft picks. Staff signing, I'm still very comfortable with Monty Williams. 2 incredible years that we probably shouldn't have been as far as we were, but I don't want to make excuses. I don't think that's the good thing to do. So we have a couple draft picks right now. I'm going to move them all, to be honest with you. I mean, again, I don't really feel like changing much on this team is really going to benefit us too much. I really don't. I think the team is good. I think it's just another year of development that we honestly do need. So thank you very much, Indiana. All right, so let's head up to team player options. I'm assuming we're going to have a couple free agents as well. This is just beautiful. This is what I love seeing right here. I mean, it's awesome. All right, qualifying. So Cade Cunningham is officially a free agent. I'm going to give him a real contract. I do not want to worry at some point in time down the line, whenever it may be, about the possibility of having to I don't know, lose him if we go over like the hard cap or something or whatever it may be. So I'm going to pay him until I don't have to pay him, and then we'll get him back on a real deal. So do not accept, do not renounce. You know the song and dance. We do it basically every single video with at least somebody. All right, Cade Cunningham, do not accept, do not renounce, and now we can give him the full contract. We are going to max him out on a 5-year deal, give him a player option as well. Welcome back, Cade Cunningham. So let's take a full look at this roster right now. If I'm going to make an upgrade anywhere, I don't know. I'm pretty comfortable everywhere. I really am. I think our depth is tremendous. I think we honestly have the talent to win it all. I think here's what we're going to do. Because this is a 5-year rebuild, we're going to give them 1 more year of development. If things don't go well, we don't win it all next year, that's when I'll make the major trade. So that's what we're going to do. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 3. It is the 3rd season here for us in Detroit. We won 69 games last year and came up just short of making it to an NBA Finals. Taking a look at this team, some things are standing out to me. I think Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey are both progressing very, very well, pretty much at the level I expected them to. Thompson's maybe going a little slow, but an 84 overall in year 3 is fine by me. Murray and Duren are really not moving in terms of the overall, which I find a little bit strange. And it's not like either of them are really playing badly, but I thought the overalls would be going up. At least like maybe 1 or 2, but I don't know. Also, the game actually wants Wiseman to start over Duren, even if the minutes don't say it. If I reset this, you'll see, but it's just weird. I find that very, very strange. It's Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, Keegan Murray, and Jalen Duren. Bench unit, Kevin Huerter, Austin Reeves, James Wiseman, Jared Vanderbilt, Marcus Sasser is also up to an 80 overall, by the way. So entire 10-man rotation is 80-plus overalls. We won basically 70 games last year. I think this team has all the talent and potential in the world. So see you guys at the end of year number 3. 70-12 is our record to end year 3. I believe that's also the 3rd straight MVP for Luka Doncic. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really care about the regular season right now, to be honest. I think we have the talent to win it all. Clearly, we do, at least in the regular season. It's time to do it in the playoffs. Jaleel Duncan is your Rookie of the Year. He is in Brooklyn. He went number 26th overall. Cool to see somebody, you know, a little later in the draft winning Rookie of the Year. Tyler Hero, 6th Man of the Year, still in Miami. Victor Wembanyama wins, I think that's his 2nd DPOY, maybe I don't even know what year we're in. Cody Williams, Most Improved. Monty Williams is your Coach of the Year for I believe the 2nd straight year. So here's a look at the standings. We were the 1 seed here in the East. It didn't seem to matter last year. Hopefully we have a little bit of better luck this time come playoff time. So here's a look at the numbers. It's everything's looking pretty good to me. I mean, I think everything looks great. Wow, hell of a year for Jalen Duren. Finally see a little bit of an overall jump. He goes up 1 overall. Who's it going to be round 1 for? It's going to be the 8-seeded New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Onyeka Okongwu is now starting center. Instead of Mitchell Robinson, still quickly as a 6th man. Josh Hart's still here. Trey Johnson. So, I mean, good team. I just think, again, we're better. I really stand by that. We win at 6, moving on to the Charlotte Hornets. LaMelo Ball, Amari Bailey, Brandon Miller. Wiggins is now starting at the 4 instead of Rudy Gobert. I think that's a much better decision. Got Tobias Harris. Oh, Rudy's still coming off the bench, and in all likelihood making 50-plus million. Good Lord. All right, we're up 2-0 right now. We are up 3-0. 3-1. Come on. Thank you. We win in 5. We're moving on once again to face the Cleveland Cavaliers here in the Eastern Conference Finals. How do you add Drew Holiday to this bench? Oh, good God. All right, can we end? I can't fucking speak. Can we finally get by and get to an NBA Finals? We can. We're in the finals. We're going to be taking on Josh Giddey and the Oklahoma City Thunder, who, again, really another solid young core, probably, again, another top 3 in all of basketball. But we kind of know what this team looks like. I think there's a strong case that a couple years down the line with the moves we made, we're the better team. And I don't know, maybe get a couple shots up. If I do, it'll be quick because obviously these videos are long enough with the 5 seasons instead of 3. But let's just see what ends up happening here. We're going to sim till, yeah, we'll do like 1 shot up. I don't know. We're up by 21 here on the verge of sweeping the Oklahoma City Thunder out of their own building and winning our first championship in year number 3. So obviously that feels great, and we still got two more years to go, but we're not slowing down at all because there's a lot of shit still to do with this team. Again, I'm very, very happy we kind of stuck to it. We didn't really make any major moves that would have really kind of changed the core of this team. We might run into a money problem at some point just because, again, a lot of these players are going to be due for contracts. That's just kind of the way it goes because there is a lot of young talent on this team. But other than that, I mean, I'm pretty happy right now. I really am. Kevin Huerter, foul? Okay. But, yeah, man, let me know what you think about the Pistons' young core. I think without a doubt, they're probably a top 3 young core in basketball. I kind of stand by that statement. I think they're up there. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder are up there. I think the Houston Rockets are up there. There's probably a couple I'm missing. I think the Orlando Magic are even in that conversation. So a lot of these teams that have sucked for a while have been doing a really, really good job one, drafting, two, with some of the trades they've made. Some of these little smaller trades that maybe don't seem as big at some time eventually actually turn out really, really well. Whether it's a team accepting a bad contract and getting a pick and maybe using that pick really wisely, whatever it may be, a lot of these are actually paying off big time for these teams. So I'm happy that we're going to see a little bit of some things switch up as the years go along. We're not going to see the same like 5 teams in every single conference be good all the single time. That being said, I also think there are some teams that need to do what some of these teams did, kind of blow it up and go into a full rebuild. I think the Chicago Bulls are one of those. I think the Toronto Raptors are one of those. That's just in the East. I think Portland probably should do it, but Portland even has a great young core. So, I mean, there are some decisions, and some teams love to be stuck in the middle. I understand why, because obviously when you trade away the big names, you lose out in, jersey sales, ticket sales, whatever it may be. But I think a lot of teams kind of need to do exactly what the Thunder and what the Pistons and what the Rockets have been doing, because they're all doing really, really well. They're on the up and up. So I'm actually going to sim to the end of this. I do not want to sit through the ceremony, but I stand by what I said. I'll see you guys at the Finals MVP. We end up sweeping the Oklahoma City Thunder and capturing our first championship of this video, as Cade Cunningham is your Finals MVP. Maybe didn't score as many points, but all around had a pretty solid series. And again, it was only 4 games. Wasn't the full 7 that maybe his numbers would have been a little bit better. So let's hit the draft lottery right now. I don't think we've traded. Oh my God, I saw Pistons logo. That's via Memphis. I know for a fact it's unprotected. I think that dates back to some trade we did. I forget. Was it the Hamidou Diallo trade? I think it was. But yeah, we're going to end up with the 9th overall selection this year. In terms of what we would draft or who we would draft, I have absolutely no idea. I mean, I honestly am just trying to think. I mean, what is like a need we have right now? Oh my God, holy second round picks. All right, let me spend 25 minutes going ahead and trading all these picks, and then I'll be back. I'm going to go ahead and draft somebody at number 9. Who that is or what position I'm looking for, I actually have no idea. We're going to draft somebody, obviously, for depth, whether we lose somebody or literally anybody in free agency. But looking at the options available, I don't know this draft class at all. Is he related to Jalen Duren? Because if he is, that's really cool. Is Jalen Duren from Germany? I actually have no idea. But I kind of want to make the pick and just say, fuck it. I mean, why not? DeLon Duren, welcome to the team. I think I saw he's 19 years old, hopefully a somewhat high overall. And he's a 77. That's absolutely beautiful. 6'11" as well. Awesome. You love to see it. So let's take a look. Qualifying offers: Keegan Murray, yes. Jalen Duren, obviously, yes. Jaden Ivey, 100% yes. These are some really important players we need to get back. So we definitely have to be somewhat careful of the moves we make. I mean, in terms of money, we don't really have a lot of money. We do have some money if hypothetically we wanted to clear it up and go get 37-year-old Kevin Durant, 38-year-old Steph Curry. De'Aaron Fox could be fun. I don't know if I love the fit of him and Cade Cunningham in a backcourt. Never mind the fact that our backcourt's already really good. Triple J is here. I mean, if we sign Jaren Jackson Jr., we're obviously going to lose somebody on this list, and I think I'd rather not do that. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to give these guys all contracts. So I don't know if I need to bring back Kevin Huerter, to be honest. I think he is a pretty important piece of this team. I mean, who would I rather have, him or Austin Reeves? Also, it's sneaky that Kevin Huerter is younger than Austin Reeves. That is interesting. I'm obviously going to bring back Murray. I'm going to bring... You know what I might do? I might try to find an upgrade at the 4. Keegan Murray's not really progressing as much as I was hoping, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to re-sign Huerter and Reeves, in all likelihood include Huerter in a deal with... I'll show you guys. Let me go ahead. Let me pay Kevin Huerter, who wants $19 million, by the way, but I also do want to bring back Austin Reeves on a much more reasonable contract. Jaden Ivey does not have a real offer yet. We're going to eventually re-sign all these guys as well. So Huerter's back, Reeves is back. Do not renounce Jaden Ivey. Do not renounce Jalen Duren. And do not renounce Keegan Murray. Good God, 2K. Fucking idiots. This probably still isn't a real offer, so we're good. Let's do this again. Do not renounce Ivey. Do not renounce Duren. Do not renounce Murray. Holy shit. All right, Jaden Ivey, yes, he now has a real offer. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pay him. It's not worth risking losing him. And Jalen Duren wants about $21 million. Keegan Murray wants about 16. So that's fine. We're going to bring literally 5 guys back on some pretty big deals, but it was needed. We obviously just went ahead and drafted DeLon Duren as well. So he's actually going to be my new backup small forward behind him on Asar Thompson. And then we're going to include Huerter in a trade with Murray, and we're going to try to find an upgrade at the starting power forward spot. So let's do that. I actually tried to trade for Triple J once. If I can do it now, obviously that would be great. They did not accept the trade that I offered them the first time. Let's see if they'll take this one. I mean, in terms of draft picks, I have a bunch. I know this shouldn't... Oh, that's the Grizzlies pick. I was going to say, they should want their own first-round pick, but that's all it took? Really? That felt a little bit too easy. Maybe they really wanted their pick back, but obviously I don't need it. But yeah, I mean, we made a huge upgrade at the starting power forward spot, and I'm really, really happy with the move. Also has an A-rated three-point shot, so I'm very, very happy. But he's also 26. He fits the timeline well. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 4. Fresh off a championship, we made a major trade, added Triple J, a former Defensive Player of the Year, to this team. Was it a necessary move? Probably not, but I do think in the long run, it was the smart decision, and we're very, very happy to have him here. So Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Azar Thompson, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Jalen Duren is going to be the starting 5. Bench is incredible. Marcus Sasser is up to an 84 overall. I'm very happy I didn't trade him when he was like a 73. Looks like it's working out for us. So he'll be the 6th man, followed by James Wiseman, Jared Vanderbilt, Austin Reeves, and DeLon Duren, who we drafted 9th overall this past season. So very, very excited. I think this team definitely should be winning again. Time will tell. See you guys at the end of year number 4. We have the same exact record as last year, and Luka won another MVP. I'm getting quite a bit of deja vu right now, but 70-12 was the regular season record once again. Pretty good. Luka does not get a triple-double, so I don't know if I really count this one, but good God, give me somebody else as an MVP. Cameron Boozer is your Rookie of the Year. I believe he's Carlos Boozer's son. He went 1st overall to Washington. Hell of a rookie campaign. Taylor Hendricks, 6th Man of the Year, is in Utah. Victor Wembanyama, I think that's a 3rd straight depoy. Bronny James, Most Improved, he's in New York. If he ends up a New York Knick, I would not be surprised if all those old jersey photoshops of LeBron James in New York actually come true. Monty Williams, Coach of the Year. I believe that's the 3rd straight year. So a lot of repeat awards. I will definitely say that. And again, best record in the league. I mean, it's just pretty obvious with 70 wins. Nobody's going to beat that. Here's a look at the numbers on the year. Looks like with Jaren Jackson Jr. here, I mean, scoring maybe spread out a little bit, but not too much. And again, I say this all the time, pretty much every video. If we're winning, I don't give a shit who does what. So here's a look at the Miami Heat. Still going strong with Jimmy Butler. He is now 37 years old. Bam Adebayo is here at 29. Hero's now in the starting 5. I only say that because he won a 6th Man of the Year like last year. So, yeah, welcome back to the starting 5, I guess. Okay. We're up 3-0. They win game 4. We win game 5 and beat them in 5. Moving on to Atlanta. Never a fun team to face, even though it looks like a lot of this team has changed. Still DeJounte Murray, but he's coming off the bench. Interesting decision there. Thanks for coming. Cleveland. All right, here's what they look like right now. I mean, it looks very, very similar to last year. Obviously, still an incredible team they have. I'm taking our squad. I really am. We're down 2-1. Oh, my God. Maybe I should not have said that. We are 3-3, and oh, my God. We come back from being down 3-1, and we're in the NBA Finals. We are taking on now 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, Victor Wembanyama. Scotty Barnes is also here. Desmond Bane somehow ended up here. Good God. I mean, what are some of these moves that have been made to acquire a team like that? Ridiculous. We're down 3-1. We end up losing in 5. I mean, he's just an absolute unicorn. There's literally nothing you can do about it. So, heading into our final season, I started this video by saying I want 2 championships. We've won 1, which obviously means we're hopefully on our way to number 2. Let's look at the draft lottery. It does not appear that we're going to have any picks in it. The Grizzlies end up with their number 1 overall pick. So, I essentially traded the number 1 overall pick for Triple J, which it does kind of look, you look back and you're a little bit disappointed by, oh my God, Steve Kerr's here. Monty Williams done a great job, but I've really never been able to sign Steve Kerr, and I would love to. Okay, fuck you, Steve. Where's Monty Williams? Give me my coach back. I'm sorry. I did not mean to do that. Just come on back, Monty. Thank you very much. All right, so let's head up to the draft. I don't think we're going to have, we definitely don't have any lottery picks, but in terms of our actual other picks, just another 85 million seconds. So let me trade all these. We're up to team player options right now, and I know I'm going to get a comment saying you can combine all those seconds into first. And honestly, if we didn't have the talent and the depth that we do, I probably would. But we have a shit ton of depth and a shit ton of talent, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. Holy hell, Luka's here. Oh, God. I would love to go out and try to sign Luka Doncic, but it would just require completely blowing up this team, and that's not worth it. Also, looking at this, why the Dallas Mavericks are not offering him a contract is just mind-blowing. I don't get that one. Victor Wembanyama is here. He is restricted. I'm assuming that the Spurs are going to match anything he gets. SGA is here as well. Looks like he has strong interest in the Clippers. So it looks like Dallas is actually making a play for SGA over Luka. This is an insane free agency class. Let me just say that right off the rip. I mean, we don't have the money, and we probably won't ever, just in terms of these free agency. What the fuck? Who is that? I have no idea who that is, but I'm just going to qualify Thompson here. I mean, it makes the most sense. I'm going to do the same thing with Sasser. I mean, I don't really want any of these guys to go anywhere. So hopefully we can afford Vanderbilt. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to be dumb. I'm not going to offer him this yet. And I'm not going to renounce him. Shit. I'm getting nervous. Shit. It's not going to let me sign Jared Vanderbilt. All right. Well, is it? Okay, I don't fucking get this game sometimes. All right, so we brought back everybody. Honestly, I don't think it'd be the worst idea in the world to try to upgrade from DeLon Duran. I mean, obviously, he only played 10 minutes a night, but I really do think that veteran presence could definitely help out this team a lot. I mean, in terms of free agents that we could sign, I mean, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be a little bit of a scumbag right now. I'm going to sign Brandon Clark, and I'm going to throw him in the trade as well to hopefully have some more options in terms of financials. So he's making about $5.5 million. He's making about $7.5 million. That's like, what, $13 million? So let's just look at small forwards, shooting guards / small forwards making, I don't know, $13 million or less. I mean, again, we're 5 years down the line, so I'm sure the salary cap has gone up a lot, but let's just look. I mean, in terms of players, that's not happening. And again, it doesn't need to be anybody great. Cody Williams, probably not going to happen. Justin Edwards, probably not. This is Trey Johnson from the New York Knicks. Again, I just think these guys are a little bit too good, too much potential. So Zachary Rizicher is here. Nasir Cunningham. I mean, how much? Oh, he's actually been pretty decent. Like, I wish some of these guys were under contract. I would go ahead and take a flyer on them immediately. Quentin Grimes is here. That actually wouldn't be a horrible trade if I could maybe get that to go through. So Duran is actually this is definitely going to go through. They'll take this. All right. Might have been an overpay. Whatever. It is what it is. So let's go ahead. Let's move Quentin Grimes to the backup small forward spot. We honestly didn't make any, like, major signings today. I mean, we made one major trade with the Triple J, but I think that was a necessary one, and honestly, I'm kind of happy doing a rebuild like this. So I'm feeling good. I'll see you guys at the start of the 5th and final year. It's the final season for us here in Detroit. We didn't make any major moves. We traded for Quentin Grimes. He's an upgrade at the backup small forward spot, but other than that, things are still looking good. It's Cunningham, Ivy, Thompson, Triple J, Jalen Duran, and his overall, they're not very nice to this man in this game. I mean, I also expected Ivy to at least be a 90 by now. Haven't really seen that too much. Cade's at a 93, but a little surprising. Marcus Sasser will remain our 6th man, followed by James Wiseman, who honestly I'm surprised I haven't traded. I mean, we gave him a lot of money, but we're winning a lot of games. I mean, we don't really need to make another major trade. Something that will surprise me, you'll see this at the end, Quentin Grimes, Jared Vanderbilt. Austin Reeves is down to a 79 overall, which makes me a little bit nervous, and maybe it's the fact that he's not playing a ton, but he's still only 29 years old. I feel like that's just a little weird, but I'm going to roll with the punches for now. So we will see, but I think this team's definitely good enough to win it all. See you guys at the end of year 5. We go 72-10 here in our final regular season, and we finally have a new MVP as our very own Cade Cunningham gets it done. He replaces Luka Doncic after 4 straight. You love to see it. Whoa, excuse me. AJ Dabonsta? I'm sorry, I'm fucking terrible with names. You all know that. Trenton Flowers, 6th man of the year. Derek Lively, the 2nd defensive player of the year. Gregory Jackson Jr., most improved. Monty Williams is your coach of the year. So I think we've done enough in terms of just looking at records. Wow, not a single team. We won 72 games here in the East. Not a single other team won 50 or 60. I mean, that is just absolutely insanity. Here's a look at the numbers on the year. Feel free to pause if you wish. I do not, because I want to get through the playoffs, and I want a 2nd championship, because good God, we are fucking due. Here come the New York Knicks in round 1. Bronny's their starting point guard. Trey Johnson starting at the 2. RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Alexander here. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. You have Jalen Brunson coming off the bench. Markelle Fultz also here. I mean, Mikey Williams. I mean, how many point guards do you need? Good Lord. All right, let's see what ends up happening here. We sweep them out of their own building. Brooklyn here. Colin Sexton and Chaya Okoro. Okay, there's just absolutely no way this team's even touching us. They win. Actually, I think they won game 1, but death taxes, and it feels like at this point the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Detroit Pistons here in the Eastern Conference Finals. How the fuck do you have Michael Porter Jr., right? I'm not getting into this whole speech about how ridiculous it is when players who are not 85 years old are getting like mid-level exceptions from teams to try to go out and win a ring, but it's just ridiculous that Michael Porter Jr. at this point in time is an 86 overall and getting paid $7 million a year. I mean, that's just absolutely mind-boggling. Actually quite frustrating, really. We're up 3-1. Who gives a shit? We win in 5. And once again, we're taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder here in the NBA Finals. Whoa. Dame finally leaves. He's 37. He's only making $7 million, but it looks like the Thunder lost SGA. He averaged 14 points a game. Oh, that's the play. Oh, my God, he averaged 11 points. Jesus Christ. All right, well, that is an interesting replacement for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who at this point in time would have to be one of the best players in the league, and we're up 3-2. We close them out in 6, and my prediction came true. We won 2 championships in this video, so we closed it out on a high note, which is obviously great. In terms of redoing all the prospect rebuilds I've done, I think there's a possibility I'll probably redo the Houston Rockets one. I know I got the prediction right with Thompson, but I don't know. It feels like one that I want to do again. I love that young core, and I really do think it would be fun. So let me know which ones you want me to see, or which ones you guys want to see down below in the comment section. Of course, there's always a bunch of free agency, rumors. There's always trade rumors. So we have a lot of rebuilds to go. But I had a ton of fun with this one, man. We built a hell of a team. We won 2 championships. So as always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.